Breaking news tonight, the U.S. and Canada closing their borders as the coronavirus pandemic deepens.
The coronavirus is looking more and more like a global pandemic.
But one local woman actually started her business during this time.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Lauren Cumberbatch, the owner of Skin Studio 211. Let me tell you how I got started. In February 2020, this little boy would end up needing heart surgery. And then a month later, I knew I would need back surgery. So we came from New York, where he had surgery at Mount Sinai Hospital, which was absolutely scary, but ended up being a successful surgery. We ended up in Lansing, Michigan, where my mom and his dad lives, and they were going to watch him for about a month so that I can end up having my surgery, because when you have back surgery, you can't lift over a certain amount of pounds. And because he was over that weight limit, I knew that he would need to be somewhere, since at this time I'm a single mom and currently still am. So I knew I needed someone to watch him. And in Lansing, Michigan, that would be the easiest place. However, the pandemic happened, so of course, we all ended up in lockdown. And a week before my surgery, they said that my surgery would be considered elective and that they are canceling all elective surgeries. But for me, I didn't consider it elective because I had so much back pain. I could barely walk. I was taking like 2,500 milligrams of almost any pain meds just to live every day, and it was becoming unbearable. And even once I heard that call, and I had thought about crashing my car so that I can get surgery, but then I was like, if I crash my car, I may not live. So I didn't do it, but that's kind of where I was during that point. However, while sitting here in Lansing, Michigan, I realized it wasn't that bad, and that maybe living here will be a better opportunity for my son. Not only would he have his grandma there, both his grandmas, he would have his dad's family, but that's what I had thought. Even though I'm still considered a single mom, I just thought that being closer would make it a lot easier for his dad to be a part of his life, which was not true, but that's okay. I figured, hey, let me just move back to Lansing. I used to live here, and then I moved back home to New York. So I was like, let me be here. And plus, my son was able to have this huge backyard. I was able to pull into the driveway, no traffic and things like that. However, no one will hire me. And I'm going to show you guys how many times I've applied. I applied to every credit union, bank, everything like that. And I had 3 years of experience at working at the bank. That's the job I was doing. And I was on a leave of absence from that job. So I figured 3 years of experience. I'm willing to work during the pandemic. Let me just see. Let me show you guys how many jobs I applied for. Here's a few of them. As you can see right here, there is the 2020 email. And then obviously right here, I applied to some more. And right here, and some more. And last little bit. So yeah. As you guys can see, I applied to a lot of jobs. I applied to the same bank, just different locations, and they all had saying that they were hiring. I had a couple of interviews, and it just didn't seem like they were going to give me a chance. And it's unfortunate because my job as well was trying to push me to come back. And I kept telling them, because New York had the highest cases of COVID, and people or anyone with the weak immune system or things like that should not be around anyone who is going to be out in the public, all that stuff. And my son just had open heart surgery, so he was definitely one of those people that I'm like, absolutely not. Plus, I'm a single mom, so where was he going? So I ended up maxing out everything: PTO, sick time, my disability, my FMLA, everything, to where I was like, I need to do something, because if not, I'm not going to end up having any money. So I said, okay, I have my esthetician kit and I have my esthetician license, because I chose to be doing license in New York and Michigan at the time. And I was just like, okay, well, I know it's super affordable here to get a room or space or something like that, especially during the pandemic right now. And we're about to get the stimulus check, so let me go ahead and use it for something and just try to at least make some money for a little bit, so that hopefully once we go back, to normal life, that maybe I'll be able to get a job or whatever the case may be. So I ended up finding a room that I ended up finding a whole entire suite that ended up having 6 other rooms. And I use one room for my space, and I'll show you guys what it looked like. So as you guys can see, I was able to get it done. I had some of my friends come help me paint and things like that. And obviously you can see it's not the best, but listen, I didn't care. I loved it. And here is the lobby area. As you can see, I did what I could. I had found these chairs on Marketplace. I made these little tables, got things from Hobby Lobby because they was having an extreme sale. So yeah, I made do what I could. And even before getting this place or while building this place, I made sure that I was building my website. I'm pretty decent in tech and things like that. So I knew I wanted to make sure I hit all my customer pain points, which was, being able to book online, being able to also call, to be able to have a website, social media. I wanted to make sure my domain was available, my username was available, and I wanted to keep it all streamlined. So it's very easy, and I wanted to have everything. So it's very easy for customers to give me money, unfortunately, because I was like, a lot of times you go to people's website and, it's so hard for you to go book an appointment. But I made sure I wanted to keep all these customer pain points and things like that. And the entire time I did that, I was doing it on social media while also adding people from Lansing, Michigan who are female, because I was making my clientele, and also adding that. And I forgot to mention, I did have a shop in New York called Skin Studio 226. So that's how I ended up getting the business name Skin Studio 211 here in Lansing, because I knew I wanted to use my name at first, but my name is really hard to spell. So I wanted to be something simple. And 211 I got from my grandma who passed away. She did raise me. And I was going to do her death day 422, but then my friend was like, it's kind of depressing, so do her birthday. So I did 211, so that's where I got 211 from. And while, building this social media presence in the area, people would inbox me and say, hey, let me know when you open up. I want to come see you. So I literally wrote down these people's names. I wish I would have had the paper that I had where I wrote their names down, because once we were going to open, I wanted to inbox them each individually. And that's exactly what I did. So when Governor Whitmer said beauty services could open up, I made sure that I inboxed all of them. And honestly, the first month I was fully booked. I was so booked that I ended up having to, I was working like literally 12-hour days, 7 days a week. I was working my butt off, and being from New York, you have a hustle mentality. So it didn't really matter to me. I was just trying to get to the money. I think the first month I made $10,000, which was way more than I ever made in anything. And I was getting so busy that I knew I needed to hire help. So I eventually added, a team member, and it wasn't the best. I wasn't a great boss. I didn't know anything about having employees. So unfortunately that really didn't work out. But then I ended up hiring another girl, and listen, my girl Jazz, she came in here and showed me like what I have is something huge. I will definitely say that. So me and Jasmine, we was rocking it out. Then I hired another person. Then, it ended up turning into this bigger thing. I ended up getting some grants and winning some grants, getting some business programs that really shaped my eye, because coming from Far Rockaway, New York, that's poverty, and I never even knew what poverty was until I got out of that environment. So being around business owners and people who really want the best for you, and people who look like you as well, made it easier for me to build this business. And right now we are now at 3, almost 4 locations, and I am on here because I want to crowdfund. I have 10,000 followers on TikTok. I have a good social media presence and things like that. And I want to have my community help me. I'm not asking for people to donate money just because. I'm not asking, to feel sorry for me, anything like that. I'm legit coming up here authentic and saying, hey, invest in my business. You're going to get your money back. We have had success. I have had so many awards, so many grants won, so many business programs. I'm not the type of boss. I have like 12 employees now. I'm not the type of boss to sit on her butt. They call out. I'm trying to go and pick up their shifts. I work probably more than anybody, to the point, like just this year, I had to go down to 4 days, my son is now pretty much fine. I'm still a single mom and doing things on my own. And I am just pretty much now going to be on this quest, because I decided to partner up with Honeycomb Credit, which is going to be a crowdfunding where people like you, everyday people, can invest into small businesses like myself who are growing and doing things big that you might not even know. We are like someone once told me that I'm like the Microsoft in the beginning stages. And I don't know how to sometimes show up authentically, but if you live in Lansing, Michigan, people know how hard I work and how hard I do things. And I would like to now try to spread this out here. So right now we're in Lansing. We are also in East Lansing, which is across the street from Michigan State. I am currently the only Black woman-owned spa And I think I might be one or two Black-owned businesses in downtown East Lansing as well. And there was an article on there, so you can Google that. And now we're in Kalamazoo, which is close to Western. And I want to make my way to Detroit and these other places. And of course, I forgot the main thing. So Skin Studio 211, I like to say, is where skin receives all the love. We do facials, lashes, waxing, and sugaring. We take the top franchises of the aesthetics world and put this all into one space where you guys can all do, you know, your top 4 aesthetic services. We are only estheticians. Don't want to do anything else because I don't know how to do anything else. I like to care more about the experience versus the money. I want to give, you know, clients a great experience while also just having to get paid for it. But at the same time, I do try to keep my boundaries, because sometimes, you know, the customer always being right sometimes is not cool. I've had people lie and XYZ and literally caught them. So I do have boundaries. But for the most part, I've invested pretty much everything that I have in this business. And now I'm at a point where I would like to crowdfund. I'm not into loans or anything like that. I take the advice of my mentors, who I have amazing mentors and other business owners and things like that. So I really feel like crowdfunding is where my heart is. And I feel like this is exactly who I am. And I would love for anyone to invest in me, and you will get your money back in quarterly investments. You can check out the link in the bio to learn more about my business. You can Google my business, Google me, and things like that. And then I'm going to go on a 30-day quest of posting every single day until I reach my goal of 70,000. I'm hoping that I will end up getting higher than that. And if I can, I will be so amazing. So I am asking if you can go ahead and donate to my crowdfund. It's just a minimum $100, and it tells you more about it. So check the link out. Check the link in my bio. Bye.